So, quick question. How many people in this room, show of hands, are safety leaders? About half? Okay, we're going to ask that question again at the end of this. I think we need to turn that down a bit.
I got a float.
Let's try that. Maybe I'll lower here. Okay, so I'm Dan, the safety man, and I originally played football for 13 years. So how do you get from being a safety guy that goes out there, cares about people? I mean, I've been working for Shell for 5 years as a safety guy, and I still am up there at Carmen Creek. And I'm out in the trenches, I'm talking to people about safety, I'm trying to push safety, I'm trying to help safety. How do you get from being a guy that bashes his head into people, literally, hundreds of times a day, to a guy that actually cares about safety? How does that happen? What do you think? To be honest with you, for me it started when I was 15 years old. When I was 15 years old, I was sitting in my parents' bedroom, and I was holding my brother's foot. Sounds like a weird thing to be doing, right? But he was dying. He was 9, and he was dying of cancer. And so the family was huddled around him, and we watched him die. And at that moment, as a 15-year-old kid, I understood how frail life was. Now, I didn't become a safety guy at 15. That's where it started. Because at 15, what did I do? How many people here have kids? Put your hands up. How many people here have teenagers? Keep your hands up. Now, keep your hands up if you still like them. So, there's only 2 hands up. Okay, so we got a couple people still like the teenagers. I was a normal teenager, right? And I was pissed off. I was mad. My brother had died. My parents were divorced. And my life wasn't going the way I thought it was going to be going. But on top of that, I just lost my brother. So I started doing things that teenagers do. I started rebelling. Now, my dad had moved to this small town in Saskatchewan. Has anybody heard of Southie, Saskatchewan before? Anybody been through Southie, Saskatchewan? One guy, you from Southie? No? Didn't think so. 750 people in Southie. My dad was a principal. And I was going off the rails. So I was doing drugs, I was fighting, I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing. My old man knew about it, right? And so for months and months and months this was going on because I was mad. I was mad about my brother, I didn't know what to do about it. And I just remember this one night, I come home, and my father is sitting at the kitchen table. He's just sitting there. And now he liked having a drink now and then, so I figured the fact that it was 5 o'clock in the morning, I wasn't going to get in trouble because he'd be sleeping, right? Just sitting there. And he hasn't got a drink in front of him. There's only one light on in the house. He got a Bible in front of him. I know I'm in trouble, right? I see the Bible, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get hit with that thing. He says words that I'll never forget. He says, Dan, you got to stop doing this to me. I said, doing this to you? I'm just having fun. What am I doing to you? He says, you're killing another one of my kids. Now, I heard him. And I'll tell you what, there's 2 reasons I had to hear. Number 1, that spoke to my heart. And number 2, his hands were wrapped around my throat. He was forcing me to listen, finally forcing me to listen. But I was in trouble. And I knew I was in trouble. So I mean, we broke down, there's a lot of conversation, a lot of things. I mean, I was a pretty good guy, still a pretty good guy. So I didn't know what to do. So over the next weeks of me being grounded and being in trouble with him, all this stuff's going on, I finally go to him and say, what do I do? I'm failing at school, I got no real friends, I'm in trouble, I can't, I even knew I was in trouble because all the pot I was smoking, I was retarded. I said, what do I do? He says, well, it starts with one thing. You come up with one thing that you can do that doesn't hurt anybody, including yourself. Just one thing. If you come up with one thing, I promise you I will help you get there. I don't care what it is. Just that you don't hurt anybody. Because that's all you're doing right now. You're either hurting other people or you're hurting yourself. Doesn't sound like a big job, right? Come up with one thing to change your life, but 15, try to figure it out. Anybody here recognize this guy? Can you see the screen back there? Probably not that well. Anybody recognize this guy? So about 100 years ago, he was pretty popular. His name was Tony Mandarich. And it was actually 1987, 88. And he was drafted from the NCAA, from Michigan, to the Green Bay Packers. He was the highest paid offensive lineman ever drafted in the NFL at the time. And I was sitting in the bathroom reading Sports Illustrated. And I come to this article, and I go, flipping through it, and I'm looking at it. This guy's 315 pounds, 6'6". He can bench press 225 pounds 37 times. He can run 40 yards in 4.65 seconds. He can broad jump the moon. He was a monster. He would take guys in games and just destroy them day after day after day. And on top of that, he's a beast. And I was a big kid. So I knew. So I went to my dad. I said, Dad, I found out, I figured out what I want to do. Here's the article. And I show him the article. And he's, you know, my dad's a pretty patient guy, right? He's looking at the article, and I'm flipping. He goes, oh. He says, this guy eats a lot. Now as a parent, I understand why he said that. He says, you want to be 315 pounds? I said, yeah. He said, what the fuck is wrong with you? I told you to find something good. I said, Dad, I want to play football. Now, that wasn't exactly true. I never played football. I mean, I played some football in the backyard. I'd hit some people. I thought it was kind of the same thing, right? I'm playing football. I'd never done it. It was kind of a fib, looking back at it. I just wanted to be really big. I thought nobody could ever hurt me if I was 6'6", 315 pounds, because I was 15 years old, and 15-year-old boys just want to be big, right? But I didn't tell him that. I told him I wanted to play football. And true to his word, he changed his life for me. And I mean, changed my life, but he changed his life. He took his garage, which we're in Saskatchewan, so same weather as we have here, and he turned his garage into a gymnasium for me. Punching bag, speed bag, squat rack, bench press. He started buying more food, better food, training food, reading what this guy was actually eating and actually making me eat it. He transferred me from the school I was in to a school 60 miles away in Regina, Martin Oboldis High School. And the only reason I went to that school, we were Catholics when I was growing up, but the reason I went to that school was because he researched it and found out that's the best school for football. He did all that for me. That's what he did. True to his word. He said, you know what? If you want it, one good thing, we'll get it there. He talked to the school. This is my favorite part. He talked to the school and had them erase my academic history. Because he was a teacher, right? I didn't know they could do that. I don't think they probably could anymore. Don't tell anybody, because maybe my degree's not worth anything. But he talked to the school and made it all go away and said, now you're starting from scratch. You said one thing, do your one thing. And so I did. I did. I started playing football. And I started commuting. He bought a car so that my brother and I could drive into town every night in this car, every day in the morning go out, and then at night come back. So we got to play football. It was awesome. Now the things I've learned from football, it's a different story. You know, I got out there and they just basically said, okay, here's your helmet, here's your shoulder pads. You see that guy with the ball? Yeah, hit him. What do you mean? Well, hit him as hard as you can. Like as hard as I can? Yeah, okay. That was all it was. I was a defensive lineman. It was easy. I just had to hit the guy with the ball. So I started hitting the guy with the ball. But being able to play, I had to keep my grades up. And being able to play, all the kids that I used to bully in my old school, all of a sudden I had to make friends with because I had to get tutors because I was horrible at academics. I didn't have any idea of how to do any math that I should have known by now. My English was bad, everything was bad. So I started studying. But something happened with that one thing that he gave me. And I say he gave me because he created it. I mean, he told me I could find it, but really it came from having to tell him something. I fell in love with the game. I was really good at it. I was so good at it that it just started making me want more of it, so I wanted more. And I then became a Saskatchewan Rough Rider fan. Any Rough Rider fans here? 1, 2. See, there'd be a lot more if they were winning, though, I bet. No? Maybe? So I became a Rough Rider fan. And I was watching Bobby Jurison. Bobby Jurison was my hero. He was number 71. He's a defensive end that would just come out and he would just destroy people. I loved watching him because he was so fired up all the time. He inspired me to want to play. So I wanted to play for the Rough Riders. I didn't even think about the NFL. I wanted to play for the Rough Riders. That's where I wanted to go. So a long road, 10 years. 10 years. I was drafted in 1997 to the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. I'd already moved back to Ontario. I don't know how they found me. I don't know how they found me, but they did. Game film scouts. I didn't hear anything from them. All of a sudden, they were the only team that wanted me. I was drafted 6th round, 42nd overall. And I was 6'5". I was 315 pounds. I could bench press 225 pounds 37 times. I could run 40 yards in not 4.65 seconds, but 5 seconds. I did what I wanted to do. I accomplished that one thing. And it got me through university, and it got me through high school, and it gave me that one little vision of what I wanted. It changed my life. My dad changed my life. So I thank him for that, and I get really excited about it. But the interesting thing is it's not just the one thing. Because my whole deal was, okay, well, when you want something, then you just go out and get it, right? But now let's talk about safety for a second. Okay, so what's the one thing we want in safety? Goal? Zero. Right? Do that again, because I know that's not loud enough for less. Goal? Zero. Right, so that's the one thing we want for safety is goal zero. How do we get to goal zero then? Because the one thing I wanted for football is I wanted to be an ass kicker. I want a nut kisser, kicker, right? I wanted to go out there and kick butt. So I knew I had to bench press a certain amount, I had to run a certain amount, I had to be fast, I had to be tough. I knew that when I was injured, I had to keep on playing. I knew I had to never let anybody, so I knew that there was things I could accomplish that would get me there. How do you get to goal zero? By letting nothing happen. It's challenging, isn't it? It's challenging. You're looking at things backwards. How do you do it? It's hard to do, and we'll come back to that, but it's interesting to me. Because that one thing is really every little decision that you make to get there, regardless of what it is. The decisions that you make either take you to that goal or away from it.